Trace, yes, we've got Mirage, Train, and then Inferno. So maybe we'll get to see what JKS had to speak about before the match in his strategies of holding the apartments up there.
But first, we're going to be touching on to Mirage here, Dallas, and this is going to be a great match in front of us. NRG versus Renegades. These two teams haven't faced each other in quite a while, actually, dating back to last year around September, I do believe, maybe October. But as we move into Pistol here, we do see Renegades setting up for just a simple A execute right now, as NRG once again favoring that B bomb site, as we do see Daps playing the retake from the ticket booth area.
Let's see what simple actually plays out as. This could get a little bit more murky because Daps has fallen back. Cirque right now is flirting on the edge of this smoke. It's a bit long, so he's got a bit of a crack through here, but the bomb will be planted default, and we're going to have a 5-on-5 retake. Only minimal scratch damage dealt so far, that being Daps on the receiving end. He's the man with the kit as NRG take their time, just posturing right now. Nobody's too exposed by anything, and once everybody's in place, then they'll pull the trigger. There's a stack up right now up on top. Looks like over top of the bins here. Perfect play by Jacob. He'll take two, looking for some more, but Breeze is able to get one response to this one. Renegades are burning an efficient amount of this clock right now, especially with this kill from Jacob. He's able to get three. He's finally taken down. A man advantage for the Renegades right now. It's going to be all up to Cirque. He's low HP, and Liaz will be able to finish him up with a nice little full house between Jacob and Liaz at 3 and 2 kills apiece.
Yeah, that's the issue right there with the retake scenario on the A site. As Daps falls off to CT spawn, his rotations come in and they take it together. Unfortunately, not having a flashbang means they're just going to be straight up fighting, and this is what I'm talking about here. They have the double stack by that garbage cannon. They're just going to mow them down pretty much. Nothing really too difficult for the Renegades side there. And moving on into this round, we're actually going to see NRG on that full save, opting not to buy any force in, or sorry, not to force into this one. And it should be a fairly easy round for Renegades, all things considered. But the last time they were on Mirage and there was an eco round, it got really tight.
I think they blocked the smoke right here in mid-window. It's well off the mark if the Renegades were to throw that. So they had 3 players up there in that window trying to peek through. Didn't land too much of anything right now, so it's just going to be vanilla pistols versus a lot of armor, so it's going to be a difficult situation for the Renegades to be able to pull off, or sorry, for NRG to be able to pull off, excuse me.
Does look like Renegades now will be collecting themselves, moving on towards this A area here. We do have a lurk in the halls, which is JKS, just patiently waiting on his team to catch up to him, while NRG, well, they've got 2 people over towards B, they've got Cirque in the window, as well as Dabs kind of floating around A with Tarek.
All right. Really, NRG are just looking for a kill or 2 here. There's no real possibility of winning this round. The fact that they've done so much damage against Liaz and he's still taking damage. Actually, this is starting to shape up. If they get 2 kills, it's going to be hats off to NRG. But still, those 2 kills are out of reach. Breeze is the last man standing. Plenty of low-hanging fruit to be picked, but not plucked.
There it is.
All 5 survive for Renegades. Doesn't matter even if Smooya has just barely a heartbeat in there.
Yeah, a lot of damage done from NRG, but not able to actually finish off any of those kills. Here's that lurk from Jacob coming up and grabbing 2 himself. That was a great job out of him. Renegades onto 2 as we move into this first gun round here, Dallas, where NRG are going to be using 4 AUGs and 1 M4. No Molotovs to follow up in their back pockets, though.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Renegades won that round without a casualty of war, and they had taken that first round pretty cleanly, too. So they're right now sitting on a little bit of an expendable round. They're going to use their utility.
Nice
Getting kills here is going to be fantastic for the Renegades. They don't necessarily have to win the round straight up, but they have expendable resources. Get rid of those MAC-10s. Put that UMP on the front line. They already lost that MAC-10. Smooya was jumping out, basically sacrificed his life for this late mid control, but NRG are making them bleed for it.
Yeah, starting with Tarek on the catwalk and then moving towards Ethan in the connector. NRG are going to find themselves in a 5v3 situation here, Dallas. They're just going to fall into a little bit more of a passive play. You do see Cirque staying in the connector, but he's got the bait set up with Ethan here to try and make something happen for him.
We'll see. Yeah, and Breeze is the scythe that would come across that if the Renegades were to come up through connector. He could just drop right out of that ladder room into the window and be able to lay down the punishment on the players that remain. Jacob jumps up, undetected so far, but Cirque senses something's out of place. Oh, but Jacob is there. Excellent work from the observer, be able to turn off that X-ray, because we just saw just the bit of crown of his head, and you can tell how difficult that is to play. Back to a 3-on-3. Renegades reeling it back in, baiting NRG into a couple skirmishes that so far they've lost. Daps as well, able to be luckily escape with his life and remain at 30 HP or so. 34 seconds as well to mirror that, and Renegades are going to try and execute to B, but they're going to be running into us a little bit of what remains of a stack.
Tarek actually heard Liaz moving back into the upper B area, so he falls off Cat. He gets more positioned within the site to become an anchor. Breeze is on the catwalk in the cat room, so look for him to quickly rotate as Tarek does take down Liaz now. It's going to be on JKS to make something happen, and with these two players here, Dallas, I don't really see it going his way.
Yeah, JKS just threw that molly and did push Tarek out of position. Excellent shot.
Okay.
6 seconds. He's not able to plant his bomb. It'd have to come all down to frags at that point. Does not win it. NRG take that round. Again, I said Renegades just needed some kills. They did find success in that, luckily so, because it was 5v3 at some point, and the Renegades were playing from behind so far. They'll be able to afford up comfortably, though, in this round.
NRG now buying up, spending every little last dollar they had in efforts. I mean, that's just a testament to, you know, we were talking about the 5v3 situation they had, falling into only a 2v1 there at the end, so losing a lot of guns unnecessarily there. Not much they can do as JKS hit some great shots, but they are going to spend every last dollar in efforts to buy here. So 2-1 is our scoreline. And looking for Renegades now. Don't really have much utility here, Dallas, to make something happen in this round.
I was just looking at that. I mean, they had used 2 smokes and a molly and maybe even another smoke in mid just to get down here. They're taking a lot of damage. Have those snuck into this A site. There's actually a dry peek into A.
Wow.
JKS gets 2 and Liaz gets 1. That was JKS out of the palace that has the oversight of that A site and did incredibly well. It's suddenly a 5v2 on what was a soft push into the A site that struck NRG so hard that they're back reeling, thinking about a save already. It's 2v5. When the bomb gets planted, NRG are just going to collect themselves.
Are they going to be able to save, though? JKS has already pushed towards CT spawn. Now Breeze does take down Jacob, who's hunting, but JKS checks Tarek. Tarek survives, though. Great kill onto him.
Man, I was thinking about a save, but at this point,
no, they're going to save. They're going to have to.
You guys still got a shot at it. It's just a lot of information that they didn't have, and I guess that was going to be enough.
They don't know the positioning on any of the T's. They don't know really where the post plant even will be starting up. If they have to retake, they have to group up first, and then they got to figure out, okay, where's this first T that we're going to take down? Where's the second? Just not enough time to really get that going, so they do make the wise decision to go for this save. But before we move on to the next round, I'd like to point out JKS is lurked towards the halls there. Coming out, he got the timing just right enough to pick off the spawn player, tuck himself back in. Liaz starts coming out. He's able to fight the underbalk guy, and then JKS comes back out to help support him and take the fight towards jungle, picking up all 3 of those kills, all but cements the round for Renegades, and they're going to be on to 3.
Yeah, the way you described that, essentially, it sounded like JKS and Liaz working together to kind of bite off just enough, not more that they could chew, because one player swinging out one direction is going to be overwhelmed, but they did this little poke and prod both through the upper and lower entry into that site. It works out just fine. So the Renegades in a commanding stance right now, 3-1, and NRG are going to have to make the decision of what they do behind this. They've got about $2,800 maximum. That's on Breeze, and he's in one of the rifle carriers. So NRG are probably just going to cower for a bit, let their money build up before they could challenge Renegades again. But the Renegades, you saw at the end of the tail end of that round as well, had given up on any kind of hunt. They themselves were trying to conserve their
Definitely. I mean, it's an early game. You got to build some economy very early on there. You don't want to be hunting kills right away when you haven't really gotten a solid lead under your belt. But going into this round here, as freeze time's just about to come up, I would like to see Tarek, maybe Breeze, get a little bit aggressive towards the B halls with those. Maybe even the A halls. Try and get that early pick for your teammate. Maybe get somebody a weapon as well. We're going to see what they're going to decide to do here.
It looks to be, as you said before, a simple execute to the A site would be relatively straightforward. Asa is working on the molly that will clear out everything underneath. That's a very strong position for the CTs to be able to utilize. But now everything towards this site is going to get real foggy. Derek, though, has a line of sight. He'll clean out the first. Pistols are coming in. This is working out really well with Derek just swinging out. Has a field day against Liaz, and it's going to be 1v3 all Smooya. He does not have the AWP that he's comfortable with, but this AK would be more appropriate considering he's so outnumbered. He needs to be able to switch targets and, of course, have rapid fire capabilities.
Ooh, I like this from Smooya, pulling all the way off of A, going back towards this B bomb site now. Actually, okay, he second guesses himself, pulls back towards A right now. Unfortunately, no one on NRG is actually rotated over here. We do have one player in Cirque playing towards the connector now, moving towards lower. But overall, Smooya, in this 1v3 here, will be running into 2 CTs, Breeze and Ethan, waiting in CT spawn.
It's interesting. Like with Breeze and Ethan sitting over there at CT, Ethan's still holding on to a pistol. There are rifles on the site for him to grab, but that is how conservative NRG are acting right now. They don't even want to put somebody out in the open.
Play the numbers advantage.
Yeah, even then, even if you lost that player, you'd still be outnumbering your opponent 2-1. But now Smooya's chance. The jump peeking from Ethan does pay off. Utility flying. Oh no, it's just his crosshair. I thought it was a grenade coming up over the top. Smooya takes the first. He's got the wounded player and Breeze next. 20-some seconds left. Smooya being very diligent about his cross and doesn't quite clear that first corner. Breeze was rapid on that response, though. Smooya would have almost had to pre-fire that with how perfectly timed that was. And NRG get a round, and that was a round that they had 2 rifles saved and just pistols on it.
Yeah, and in that round there, you saw the A execute come out. Renegades coming out full nades, full flashes. Tarek actually playing behind that triple box. He's going to go ahead and get the entry kill. As he's getting that entry kill, his teammate drops a smoke in front of him, blocking that angle off from NETs. While that's happening, Breeze, who was in the connector, rotates in, picks up a kill of his own. And Daps, well, he's just going to peck away with that USP and find one as well. Great round out of NRG, a great crossfire setup, really off the tail end of Tarek's first kill, allowing that to develop.
Yeah, I like that from Cirque right there. Threw a Molotov into the window, expecting the T-smoke to land through the threshold, and tried to work a one-way of his own creation. But with some smoke in Catwalk right now, it's allowing Breeze to stand on high above Asa. And if he were to walk out here, he would be quickly executed. There is no threat that would be able to take Breeze down immediately. So he falls off as soon as that smoke fades, as you can see now.
Yeah, not a bad idea out of Renegades either to force buy into this round here. They realize that NRG doesn't have the greatest money on the table right now, and they can actually get something going. So we see some Deagles, we see a CZ on the field, AK and a Galil. Still a possibility here for the Renegades side.
Oh, this is a really strong spot for Breeze, though. Jacob was out there in no man's land, nowhere to cower, nowhere to hide. Breeze will get a freebie at that. And so now Renegades, who have actually sent 2 salvos of utility into mid, now finally stand back into mid on a re-aggression of that position. They're going to throw some utility into the ladder room and do incredibly well. I just saw that flash arcing in. Great return frag, though, by Ethan, who's hanging out in jungle. He's actually responsible for both the top end of the connector and that ladder and window room now for himself. He's just continue to work him down.
Bomb.
Oh, the bomb! It trickles in.
That's huge. Ethan now, he's going to go ahead and pick up Liaz as well. The bomb's in window as Tarek pushes up Cat, takes down JKS here, Dallas. And NRG have tied this one up 3 apiece.
Wow, that grenade just rolling in. I didn't know rectangular objects could roll so efficiently. It just kept going. Fell right through the threshold and right into the window. And at that point, I think the round was virtually lost for the Renegades. But that's such a tough spot. Trying to re-peek into that tiny little vent hole, you're one at a time no matter what you do. It's not like you could double peek that efficiently.
Exactly.
3-3's our score line now, and the Renegades are the ones that are going to be bowing out of this round. Just Glocks, 2 flashbangs, and that is it. And it's aggression. Breeze is going to push to top mid. Yeah, I'm expecting a pop flash so they can cleanly get around this corner. Ethan is bottom mid, and then looks like that would be Cirque possibly that would give him a flashbang, but they don't do that. They instead retreat. Go back to a little bit more default setup. And as I say that, Ethan's actually going to take that point to the top of mid.
Yeah, and it does look like Smooya is going to get set up to throw some flashes here. Renegades right now just letting utility burn, letting nades burn out, and then they're going to get their execute going. Smooya double flashing out. We're going to expect pretty much just flooding out through those B halls, try and get the bomb down. Maybe they pick up 1 frag, but it's going to be very difficult because on the B site, we have Tarek set up on top of that default box, as well as Breeze waiting patiently under the window.
Man, the B site is such a tough site to get into, especially with just Glocks. Those flashbangs are going to have to be perfect, but Breeze is not looking. He's playing anti-flash. Tarek is tucked in. He's going to be jump peeking probably shortly, but now that he sees that they're going to be executing, they come right at Breeze. He'll take the first, and they're jumping into the welcoming farm.
Okay.
2 of the CTs, but well, they got 2 kills themselves, and now they're going to get a bomb plan out of this. Money well earned.
Nope.
Oh,
just missing it
at the last fraction of a second. It was just on his fingertips still at the site.
I was expecting that to be a very clean hold, Dallas. Unfortunately, right there at the end, we see 2 kills go Renegades' way, and they almost pull off that bomb plant until Cirque showed up with that USP, just putting an end to that.
Yeah, that was danger close. The Renegades, though, they're going to have rifles here anyways, but I think it's going to make a difference on their utility, though. You could see that an extra $800 would have meant 2 extra grenades for Jacob, 2 extra grenades for JKS, and it would round everybody else's nades out perfectly as well. So that could be a difference maker. We'll see how that develops.
Look at this aggression. NRG taking a very fast mid here. Some great nade usage from Renegades. It's going to keep them at bay for just a bit here. We should see the execute come out momentarily as they do realize that, hey, NRG has gotten very aggressive towards mid. They're probably playing 3, maybe even 2 people in that area. Let's go on to A, and here it comes.
Well, when you have this many players in connector, let's see how useful this could be. They've got the typical smokes that are blocking off the door and the top of the stairs and everything else, but they're going to boost up over this for line of sight that Cirque will dominate. Well played, a dangerous position too, because we've seen that smoke actually leaning a bit closer towards the bench, which leaves a gap on the close side of the stairs. Daps throws a grenade, spots that 2 Ts are out in the open right now, and the retake begins. Tarek finding 2 of his own, and you still have this big brute punch that's about to come from the stairs and connector side with 3 players lurking around that region.
Yeah, Azza's still in a great spot here to maybe pick up Tarek. He's going to do exactly that. A crossfire could be set up, but Daps does take down Azza. It's on to JKS now. Can he do it? Cirque with a great shot is not going to allow him to do anything like that. NRG onto 5 here, Dallas. Great retake out of the CTs.
That was a wicked fast shot from Cirque there, top of Tetris. So we'll see this. This is Tarek back towards CT. He makes it look so easy. He goes to the top end of that and then swings out to the left, keeping the question mark above Renegades of where he's going to peak next. And it earns him 2 frags, and NRG now starting to streak away. They've won 4 rounds in a row at this point, and we did almost see that bomb plant 2 rounds ago and during the eco, but we did get a bomb plant there. So the loss bonus is starting to stack up for the Renegade side, enough so that it benefits them to get bomb plants consistently, and if they keep those bomb plants, they'll be able to keep rifles on the field, keep the pressure up against NRG.
Looking at this round right now, NRG favoring a little bit of a ramp aggression here. We still see Renegades on pistols as well. Well, it's more or less a force buy. You were mentioning the fact that they were getting the bomb plants in. That's going to help them out in this situation. Does look like they're also favoring A once again. Not having too much success over on that part of the map, but they're going to head there once more, see if that's going to work out this time.
Well, really, they haven't had too much success on either site right now for the Renegades.
That's true.
They've been stumped
That is
just
a good
about
point.
on every front. We got to remember they won the pistol round. They got the second one after that, but as soon as rifles came up for NRG, it's been lights out. Daps, atypical, off angle, has the first. There's no escaping this. They will overwhelm him with numbers. That's going to be a rifle that's picked up. Renegades love that trade all day. It did cost them a lot of utility, and the fact that they're not executing right now because these Molotovs that are up here is wasting this utility. These smokes are going to fade, and suddenly NRG are going to have a great at range. Jacob actually taking down Ethan and Azzer. So, tomato, tomato. Still having a rifle in play is very, very valuable for NRG.
Great shot from Tarek across from that catwalk area. Going to be shooting into sight. Breeze now peeking out from ticket booth and grabbing 2 of his own. And NRG, well, they're going to put a stop to that before it even begins. Renegades not really having any success after really just getting out of that A ramp. They're getting held up. They're getting stopped completely. That was another good hold from NRG.
Yeah, the Renegades went for something a little bit more straightforward. Mostly out of A main, and I think 1 additional player out of the Palace. Nobody in mid or anything like that. And NRG knew that. So when they had thrown these chain of mollies into A main, and that had wasted all of the Renegades' smoke, you'd seen Renegades' utility on that round. There's pistols, and then everybody had like 3 or 4 grenades. And all of that smoke was put to waste due to 2 or 3 mollies.
All right, it's going to be a little bit of a B fake here coming out from the Renegade side as they send 2 people towards lower, but Ethan playing a little bit of a one-way smoke above the connector is going to find one of his own as Cirque takes down Smooya, and we're into a 4-on-3 here, Dallas. 4-on-2, 4-on-1, just like that.
Instantly, and those were all in mid. They just vaporized. They melted, marching their way through there.
So quickly.
It was because they were all really firing and changing positions. Excellent shot. JKS, but it's asking so much. Almost catches Breeze as well. Actually chips him a bit for about 25 damage, but NRG has bomb control. They know JKS's position. JKS could milk the clock a little bit right now, and
he's got time.
Yeah, that's his best option, but NRG are going to sink their teeth onto this bomb control and never let go.
Looking at it right now, too, NRG have set up perfectly for this. Daps is watching lower. We've got the op on cat from Cirque. Oh, just a little bit of a wide swing timing there. Nice shot. Through the blocks, hitting Cirque for almost 50 HP there.
Yeah, these little one-taps are looking great. There is, Daps was actually running past and behind JKS back through the apartments, and they're seeing it around so many angles out there in mid.
Yeah.
There's been so much time that expired as well that JKS coming into mid has to worry about top mid boxes, connector, window, which seemed to be the last thing that went through his head. Ladder room even as well. It's a dangerous spot.
There was a lot going on there, definitely. And here's a nice shot from Cirque to start this one off, and here comes that second one shortly through the smoke. That was a great effort from him. You know what, Renegades? looking very flat coming out on their T side right now.
They really are. Flat's a great way to describe it. And going into this match, I would have assumed that this would be the one that would be closest today that could make a full best of three games. You know, we've seen 2-0s all so far in this group, both the past 2 days. However, the Renegades CT side is way stronger than their T side. It could turn around.
Anything is possible in the game of Counter-Strike here, Dallas. I've seen some wild things happen.
Thrown out game of on a day like today, and I'm like, my brain just wants to finish Thrones on that.
Oh man, I was trying to get the Cersei quote that she had in one of the seasons, but I cannot remember it. Let's see if Renegades
Next level nade
will be able to play this game of Mirage here very well.
Double op setup now for NRG. We've seen Tarek, that's usually been over towards that A site, holding ticket booth side. He's actually at the B site now, and then Cirque, who's been holding connector, is back towards the ticket booth. So NRG's default has swapped. After that timeout, they've decided to mix up their cards a little bit, play with the cups, and Renegades now are going to be advancing towards this one. They've got a lot of armor. Smooya's shortchanged on his armor. Obviously, he wants to save up for the big green gun, but Renegades are always shortchanged, it seems, so far, even though they've been on max loss bonus for quite some time. Window boost, good, not good enough. Lose one of your star players with Jacob here, and everybody else seems to be following suit. All for one, one for all.
NRG's mid-hold has been great here. You're always seeing them starting off on the picks towards the middle area. Yeah, it might get traded out, it might get evened up, but NRG generally starts off that middle fight on top. It's been a great mid-hold out of them. There you see Breeze once again, 3K out of him on the mid. Renegades really not able to take him down, and Breeze is just going to capitalize on it.
All right, let's
Here's that great replay here.
Yeah, Breeze ends up getting 3 kills from this position, and you see a lot of times like the opper, especially in Cirque, he'll be in connector, he'll fire, and he'll fall back to the next position, next position, next position. Not Breeze there. Picks off all 3 virtually in the same spot, standing like a statue.
Okay, looking at this round now.
Ooh, Daps is going underpass.
Yeah.
He's continuing to go.
Gonna find one.
Oh, that's unfortunate. 98 damage. So close, yet so far.
That should have been his kill there. And towards A ramp, though, Cirque is going to find one. Quickly traded out, however, as Liaz with the bomb is looking to peer on in towards that A bomb site.
So I'm a little concerned about the Renegades on this round right now. They've sensed that there's weakness from NRG. They're taking these really fast skirmishes in pursuit. Like, for example, they chased Cirque a little bit in there, and now he's fallen back to Tetris, but they stopped that finally. They want to collect themselves, because when they were doing that kind of fast skirmish, rotation, one person going across and trying to be a hero, the rest of the players were miles away. Like, still Aza's all the way towards the B site. 2 HP, he's probably just going to be a sacrifice to this B site. Maybe
I can imagine they're just leaving him. I can imagine they're just leaving him in that lurk position there. If anybody pushes up B, you can go for it. As Breeze rotates over towards A, it's actually a fake. They're going to pull the bomb over. They're going to pull Tarek as well here out of that B Hall's position. But you know what? He's aware. He realized something was going on there, and he's able to pick up Aza very easily.
This might end up feeling like a double fake, because it's been quiet. No, never mind.
No, he hears
Spock
all this.
talking about being quiet. Yeah, Tarek hears everything going around behind him. He will turn, look, sees the shadow pass over.
Good
and
shot.
He will pass over
Nice shot.
both Jacob. Next up is going to be JKS, and it looks like the op rings out for the last 3 kills, 3 shots as well. So NRG now at a 9-3 command, and their money is virtually secured for the remainder of the half.
That was some great shooting by Tarek. Here's that second kill right there. It's exactly what you want when your ops are on the field. They're not missing any shots, hitting everything as difficult as they may be. NRG now on to 9 right now. Really pulling away here, Dallas, very early on. Renegades not getting any momentum. They can't get any traction going, and it's very disappointing to see.
Yeah, this is beginning to be difficult, I believe, for the Renegades. They're going to need to win at least 2 more rounds, but I haven't seen any indication that they're starting to find traction. Tarek pushing to the apartments, closer and closer.
Lovely shot out of him. He actually pushed through the smoke there that Renegades had thrown to make him a little bit more nervous. He said, nah, I'm comfortable going through that. He's going to find a very nice entry kill here, and we are going to see him and Breeze go for the hold. That's 2 coming out of Breeze right now as Tarek just playing a little bit of a support role. Can you see the final player through the smoke? And he does. Taking down Smooya now will give NRG their 10th round on the board. Great hold out of them. Great aggression early on by Tarek. Lovely little passive play that he goes into after getting that first entry kill, and here's that double kill from Breeze there, just supporting his teammate, realizing that the T's coming out are going to be just trained on Tarek, and he's going to pick up some very easy kills.
This is, I was saying that they needed to win at least 2 more. Now that rope is at its maximum limit, they need to win out on this half. And they've at least got their setup of rifles here. Not a full buy entirely. Jacob has no grenades whatsoever. And they're going to set up for a, looks like a really straightforward. Everybody possibly through a main one. No, nobody through Palace. A very one-dimensional attack. Let's see if they can overwhelm some of the initial players. Breeze underneath, traded out immediately. Ethan's cut down as well. They're not able to get any kind of +2 frags for anybody until Cirque comes around. He just misses that next shot as it's going for the surf, strafe, and into the ticket booth side. It's going to be a 2-on-2 action favoring the Renegades right now because, well, maybe not. Aza throws a flashbang, and here's the long flank. Oh, Daps chokes a little bit on that shot, and now the advantage entirely belongs to NRG. Stolen away from them. Fast rotations coming into the site, leaving Daps and Cirque standing all against Aza.
And there it is, Cirque picking up the final kill. Now, NRG onto 11 here, Dallas. Renegades, they need to pick up this final round. Yeah, their CT side might be better, but if they go down 12-3, that is a steep mountain that they've got to climb here. So going to this final round, as we see the AWPs being bought up, we see the AKs on the side of Renegades. It'll be interesting to see what they opt for, because moving towards A has been shut down every single time. Moving towards B as well, they found no luck on either site. So what are they going to come out with here to get them that 4th round?
I mean, to add to that, mid as well. Renegades have been just sliced and diced in mid, through and through. And now they're going to have to do this again, starting the round off by chewing on a grenade. Smuya and Jacob both hit very hard from that. Assume that came to top mid. And this mid control, this is something we saw at about the halfway point. Got players in top mid pushing up. You got players watching the rear as well. It is all NRG all day. And like I said, they were dominating mid through and through this whole half, and it'll only continue into the last round of this half.
That was some great aggression from NRG, not making it too obvious that they were pushing up, letting the round sort of develop there. Ethan's going to find a very easy first kill, and at that point, the player lower B says, well, I'm going to come out to trade Ethan, who's pushed up middle by himself. Well, to be honest, though, Renegades had no idea that Breeze was boosted on Cat. That's going to be another easy kill going their way. And after that, Ethan picks up a second, and the round's all but over at that point, Dallas.
Yeah, it really is. But I think the Renegades definitely need to take a little bit of a breather right now. And we're going to do the same. So during this halftime on Mirage, we're going to cut to a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the ESL Pro League Season 9.
Dancing on my own when you spill that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that is first sight. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did, don't make it stop. 'Cause baby, you make me feel something.
All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to the Pro League Season 9. Renegades are here, and they've got a long fight ahead of them. It is 3-12 after the Mirage first half. I'm Topical, joined with these E-Mode. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Doing good. You good?
You enjoying your Sunday?
Yeah. It's
You getting ready for tonight?
Yeah, tonight's going to be fantastic.
Tonight's going to be a good night.
Yep. So, what do you think Renegades have to do here?
Well, they've got to win pistol round first, Dallas. That's going to be the start. Losing pistol round is not a good look if they're trying to make this comeback happen. But NRG right now, all they got to do is just keep playing their game. They've been dominant thus far. Nothing really needs to change for them. It'll be interesting to see how they play this pistol round out.
Well, Renegades playing retake A anyways. And right now they've gotten the first and second kill. All right, great start. The bomb's still not planted yet. It's on the way to doing so. There it is, but already it's a 5-on-2 situation. So I believe that the Renegades should have this easy peasy, unless it's too easy for Breezy. He's up in the palace right now. Pretty good spot. The bomb would be a difficult thing to stop being diffused right now, but he's got the first, looking for the second, and he won't get it. That was a tall order. And hopefully the Renegades will be able to overcome those tall orders, because they still got a long road. Yeah,
that was a very clean round for Renegades there. Just essentially Jacob coming out with that USP, doing tremendous work there from that connector area. That was great from him. Fortunately, NRG, though, does look like they've got a little bit of a technical issue right now, Dallas.
Yeah, they lost a player, but I think that player had expired and then dropped out. So, well, I doubt it's too much of a problem. We'll just get them back into the server and fire things right back up. So we saw this before in the first half. As a matter of fact, I think we've seen this before as well when maybe E United or INTZ was playing against NRG. Is they might win a pistol round here or there, but then when the rifles come in, NRG just
starts dominating.
Yeah, it's like this is what we practice with way more than you do. Like we're way more confident with our rifles.
Yeah. I mean, even looking at that pistol round there, I mean, Renegades, it was off the back of Jacob there. If Jacob didn't hit those two very nice shots there, I really feel like NRG was going to swarm the site, swarm that jungle area and take it to them. Renegades, that was a great pistol round for them to pick up, but they got to continue on that pace. It's a very steep hill that they must climb here. Let's see if they're going to do it.
All right. Everybody's back into the server, and Renegades need to make their statement right now. They need to win this round because NRG weren't waiting for anybody.
Dabs forgot his pistol in spawn.
He's gone back
he's going back for it.
Oh, yeah, I need one of these.
He's going back for it.
I got it.
There you go.
Sometimes
I was
you
wondering,
just tie your shoes,
I was like, oh, they're full savings, so he was just like, whatever. But then I saw, I was like, it's a force buy? Okay.
Right. Yeah,
so the Superman buy comes out. This is a great little buy. Catches a lot of teams off guard there.
Yeah, and they haven't shown their hand yet either. No weapons have been popping off until just now. Only a Deagle has been fired off. There's the Galil shot, and that's going to alert the Renegades that they might want to back off a bit and give a little bit more respect to NRG.
Jacob looking for a little bit of aggression towards the middle area. Now, the AKs have fallen, the armored AKs, I should say. Only Breeze is left with that armor, so Ethan and Daps have recovered their teammates' weapons here. Unfortunately, being unarmored gives the advantage to the Renegades players here, so we got to see some great shots out of NRG if they want to make this round happen.
I mean, you got 3 rifles, and the opposing team only has 1, maybe upgrading for 2. Yeah, Azza's found 1. Peeled it out from underneath the ragdoll. Bomb's going to be recovered by NRG. They own middle right now, and depending on whether they turn north or south to A or B, it seems like it might be towards B. Daps over pushes this on Catwalk, and yeah, I sensed that he was starting to fall back. It was just something to over push that region and make sure that nobody's going to shoot you in the back as you come up through connector. So now Renegades are trying to reposition. They do have JKS that's still back towards ticket booth. A lot of this site is unplantable. The spam through. Breeze will survive this, but gets shot from the connector side or possibly the jungle side. So you get a man advantage to the Renegade side as the retake begins. They overwhelm and take the next 2 kills instantly, rapidly, right behind one another, and Renegades survive the storm.
Yeah, that's where that lack of armor really came to bite them. That was a great effort from them to get into the site, get that bomb planted. They've dropped a couple guns here in Jacob and Smuya, so the rebuy will burn Renegades' economy down a little bit. But NRG right now, well, they're going to be on to what I can only imagine will be maybe a partial buy, maybe some pistols, a little bit of armor, but this should be another Renegades round. A good opportunity for Renegades to keep 4 people alive and start building economy in their back pocket.
Though those first 2 rounds, man, 2 bomb plants in a row for NRG. So with the bomb plant that they got in that last one, that will afford but most of those deagles. Extra $100 in your pocket. That'd be a nice thing to have. And NRG split Cirque from the company. He is over towards the B site right now, just lurking in that smoke, possibly there to catch some rotation, possibly there to even lead the way now. The bomb has been coming back. NRG haven't really decided what they want to do, so now the decision has been made. 4 players are making their way towards this A site. Nope, Daps is going to go B. So this is just going to be a split push from NRG. They're going to rely on a lot of individual effort to see what people they can pick off, but I suspect whatever site they manage to pick off first is the site that they execute on.
Tarek just misses JKS. There's some good damage onto him. That would have been massive,
what a
but Ethan,
drive-by.
What a shot, and he's going to pick up JKS as well, opening up that A bomb site for NRG.
They have the site, but the bomb still has to come through A main and across that huge gap that Azza is watching right now. Azza thins out the angle, and man, Breeze just steps right into that one. Backhanded by Azza is Daps. 2v2. It's messy. Both your CTs aren't on the site. Both your Ts are on the site. But Smooya has a line of sight down there. I believe the bomb was dropped somewhere around that triple box region.
He just jumped across from stairs. I don't think they saw him, but either way, Renegade's able to pick that one up. Cirque actually made a nice little play. He went back to Tetris, jumped on Tetris 2 stairs, and then jumped across over the connector, so they actually didn't see him. That was a great little play out of him.
Look at this. That was that drive-by that he had. It was just full momentum. And then the next kill was a piece of cake, considering JKS was wounded as he was. But Renegades managed to pick up that round. They continue to weather the storm. Their economy, though, is only just surviving. It's getting pretty damp. If NRG are to win a round and the Renegades are continually barely keeping 2 alive or so, then you're going to have a bit of a problem, because you're going to take 1 punch and you're dead.
All right, let's look at this right now as we do see Smooya aggress towards Hull. Cirque is actually up there with him right now. So Cirque overpeaks this, which it doesn't look like he's going to do, wisely so, just waiting on any aggression from the CTs. And over towards middle, we're actually going to see NRG out in that area, trying to take control. They haven't really pushed up too far. Just looks like they're just running a typical default right now, as Cirque does get the aggressing player in Halls right now. Great flash off as well, and he's going to pull off and regroup with his teammate.
That one made me clench my teeth. He self-flashed himself.
Yeah, he did.
And then started to fall back. Maybe with a possibility of getting a second kill, but Smooya has backed off. But JKS, it was quiet, too quiet, and he just decided, well, let me peek into the palace a little bit further.
Prod get some information. Well, the only information he got was a Klashkanov waiting for him.
Right. So still NRG haven't decided. They are scattered a bit, but whichever direction they choose should be fruitful. And I like this from Lias. He pushes aggressive in the apartments. They have to make up ground somewhere.
Yep.
Try and surprise your opponents, because if you sit still as the CT side, a man down, and the Ts haven't executed yet, they're going to walk all over you.
Definitely. And I mean, even in that execute position with 25 seconds on the clock, your energy's set up, but they've got to charge their way into the site. Jacob taking down Tarek towards the middle area, and now the bomb going down from Smooya onto Cirque. 2 players left for energy to make this happen.
Jacob's a brave man, 5 HP, and he knew that he was getting pinched. Ethan ends up catching the 3 players at the CT side. There wouldn't have mattered if you got that bomb into the site. They'd been able to just flood out and catch you in the process of.
Earlier you mentioned Liaz pushing up the halls to even it out. Not only does he even it out, but he gets all of that information. Look, the clock is down to 30 seconds. There's nobody here. I just killed the only B player. Let's heavy stack A right now and let's make this happen. Once again, that's that great deagle round that Ethan had earlier in this half.
This feels a lot like the Renegades game yesterday, where they played from behind.
Yeah, their CT side.
Their CT side's a completely different animal.
It's tremendously better than their T side. It's actually astounding to see. Yeah.
So mid presence right now for the Renegades is relatively aggressive. Smooya jumped out of the window, and he's just shoulder peeking this top mid region right now. Flashbang does catch him, so I would think he'd be wise a second flashbang too. Right now his eyes are just stung. A window boost comes in, and he has been spotted. Tarek, not long. He catches one in the leg and falls off. If he were to jump ahead, Azza would be able to finish him off very quickly, and they'll molly under the window. So right now the Renegades have been able to stave off any kind of aggressive push. These are just pistols trying to squeak their way into some closer angles. Air strafe in, and suddenly the bomb has been fumbled into the jungle.
Nice little flash there as well. That's going to catch Cirque, get Jacob another very easy kill. He's on 2 for this round, as it's all on to Tarek, who's been legged already. And he's going to be taken down by Smooya, as Ethan, he too shall fall. Great round out of Smooya, picking up 2 of his own now, and Renegades making this comeback happen, Dallas.
Right? I mean, how many rounds in a row was it for NRG? It looks like it was 11 rounds in a row for them in the first half, and suddenly the Renegades come back and they take 5 in a row of their own, and they're only down by 4, so can they repeat that effort and take the lead themselves?
There's
make
that
this
first shot.
competitive game.
And there you go. Smooya just sees Ethan going into the smoke and picks that one up.
4 rounds back. Rifles in play for both sides. Either team as well having their primary operator is also with their own arsenal.
Very fast towards middle is NRG, looking for that connector split by the looks of it right now, as Daps as well as Breeze have pushed down.
Wow.
Breeze catches Smooya, who was actually boosted on that cat box to start this round off.
That was probably a surprise, because I don't think Smooya could see him, but since Smooya jumped, his position was actually seen by Breeze as he was coming through that ramp. So he realized what was happening and then stopped it before it could be used against the remainder of his team. Because we've seen what Smooya could do up top there on that boost position yesterday. I think we saw him pick up 2 or 3 kills and still defend the A site through that connector. So he's very strong. And the fact that he's down and out is like losing the knight on your chessboard.
All right, and as we pass the minute mark on the clock here, we're actually going to see Lias taking some fights towards that cat area. Cirque's able to take him down. As Jacob able to pick up one. Azza chimes in with one of his own now, and the bomb moving to B very quickly for NRG.
It might be able to make it here in time, but that Molotov just deadens the push flat.
And you know what the worst part is? Azza actually heard all of this. So not only did he hear them, about 3 people running up towards the entrance of B, but he also heard them all stop. So now he's going to communicate back to his team, hey, they could be falling back, they could be going to A, and look how Jacob responds. He gets into a very tight position. He knows the clock's burning down. I assume that Jacob isn't going to get checked due to time on the clock, and is actually going to get away with probably 2 kills here.
They might check this just because of the fact that they have 3 bodies. So here they come, around the corner. Jacob has the first. He ducks into the corner. He will be cleaned up. Bomb will be planted. We'll have a 2-on-2 retake right now. Nobody in CT side. The Maul is day late, dollar short, doesn't push anybody out of position.
Oh,
it does.
Daps.
It burns for an extra
Nice
spread, but
shot.
what a shot from Daps. He just comes out, only needed the first bullet. It will JKS alone now against the likes of Daps. It's going to be a very lonely fight between these two. There is a kit in play for JKS. Daps about to squeak out the corner, and what a flick. JKS, he was very, very prominent in the first day of the competition, even though they had lost their matches that day. JKS was top fragging by miles, so he had my trust that he could manage to pull that out.
It's a very scary round. Very nice shot from Daps, though. I'd like to commend him for, that Molotov. He realizes that he's getting burned. He needs to make a play, so he wide swings on it, ends up picking up that kill, turns it into the 2v1 scenario. But unfortunately there, the player on balcony threw the flash, actually got caught in the no man's land, essentially, out in the middle of balcony with a nade in hand. Tries to get down the ladder. That's a very easy kill for JKS. And then from that point on, Daps' HP just a little bit too low to make anything really happen.
Might have not made that much of a difference. If I remember right, I felt like it was a headshot. It was such a strong flick to the left, and it was instantaneous. You're right, he was low health. But Renegades have put some fear into NRG. I was wondering when this would happen. When would NRG take that time out to think about this? Because, it's been a hell of a CT half so far for the Renegades. They need to be able to ice Renegades, slow them down in one way or another. These aren't fast rounds that are playing out. NRG are able to have communication and how they want to execute this stuff, but they're not finding any success anywhere. It's a complete flip from the first half.
The only fortunate thing that NRG has going for them is that they're keeping this money on the CT side very low. So when they do get involved, when they do finally get a round on the board on their T side here, they'll be able to most likely either put Renegades onto a force or maybe put them onto a full eco and push towards that match point.
That's actually a story we've been talking about for the last 4 rounds, that the Renegades' money has really been poor, especially after winning 5, now 6 in a row. Lots of smoke, clouding everything up towards the B site. Both arch sides are smoked off. This looks like a split B. You have a trifecta of players about to round this corner. Smooya would be lucky to get 1. Walk into him slowly. Is he able to reposition himself? He's going to use the T-smokes against them, so he has cover to his right. They line up. He takes 2. It's a miracle that he's alive, and now Lias comes back for support. It's now just Tarek, 1v3 from 1v4. He had a full minute to go, but with him already committing himself, jumping into the site, the bomb had actually been dropped above him in the apartments. It was a stretch.
So that strat's actually a fairly old strat that's been around for a little while now. I believe Cloud9 donned it during their major run, during Boston actually, but essentially what they're doing is NRG smoking off B, making it look like a hard execute. The smokes land on Cat, and then you're just going to have the creep out towards Cat coming from the main hit, essentially going out middle, coming up Cat behind him. Smooya had an inkling that that was going to be the play that they were going to make, so he goes around, watches his 6 on that, able to pick up 1 frag, and like you said, resets and stays alive, allowing his team to get involved.
That's a long run from that first corner to the arch side. to the next corner. Like for an Opera there, I thought they would, as soon as he pulled the first trigger, they would run the corner and just completely flood him. But they didn't. The fact that they had broken stride and stayed slow meant that he was able to reset himself, pick up another kill, and then get support from the team. Molly comes in, it's going to be smoked off. Same smokes look to be coming down, but they jumped out of the windows a bit prematurely, and now they're going to get sprayed down. First casualty of a war for the Renegades is Liaz, and a nice little airstrafe bait and switch. It's going to net you another frag, but now Daps has a mag and 3/4. Can he do a bit more?
Maybe picking up one here onto Smooya, able to do that. Should be traded out as he doesn't know that JKS is also there. And Renegades within 1, Dallas. Remember, this was a 12-3 half.
Right?
So they have grinded their way back within 1 round here. Can they do it? Or will NRG keep that lead for just a little while
There's
longer?
only been 3 T-rounds victories so far this
whole game.
This whole game.
This whole game.
It's, of course, NRG haven't won a single one. They've gotten relatively close. They've gotten a couple bomb plants in there, but the closest was the 21st round where it came down to it was actually a 1v2 in favor of the of NRG, but they still lost that one, and that was on the A site.
Yeah,
so
that was a very unfortunate round for them to lose here.
that's as close as it's been.
Moving into this round, however, we are going to see a couple of the NRG players positioned towards A. We have Ethan lurking in the A halls, as well as Cirque towards A ramp. NRG looking towards that mid control very early on now, as we see Daps setting up by himself, pushing down towards that connector. And I do believe Breeze is going to flash him in. No, Daps is going to go all on his own here as NRG moving back to A to execute.
So NRG have these scratching their heads. What happened? This is a disaster. They're going to reset and look towards this A site. It looks like Daps is the only player at anywhere near mid, and he's actually making sure that Renegades don't overpush their bounds from the B site through the apartments way back. Here comes the execute, up and over the wall, about $2 grand worth of utility, and Jacob's actually going to push ahead of all that utility. Now he owns the palace. A disaster for NRG coming into the site, because now they stop at Tetris and they have to deal with him, which means now the smokes have about half of their life left on them. It's going to be an open field day for the Renegades to come back into this. There's the long lurk coming. We were talking about Daps making sure that nobody was going to flank them early on, or the Renegades weren't going to get information for free, but now he is in a 1v5, and it looks like the Renegades have all but tied it up.
Able to pick up one in this situation here, not much more going for him. Now that he's given away his position here, all the Renegades players have adapted to where Daps is here, and peeking out this jungle, should see Smooya picking up this kill. Smooya misses. Very uncanny, like,
yeah, it shouldn't
especially
matter
in
all
this
that much.
series so far. Smooya's been hitting some great shots. 8 seconds on the clock. Daps should be going down, and there it is, Dallas.
Yeah, even though Smooya missed that shot, that really solidified of where Daps' position was, and you saw the noose tighten around him on the map. The mid player started to come up, close that distance. It is 12 all. From a 12-3 to a 12-12.
Yeah, you got to imagine, if you're NRG at this point, the momentum, I'm sorry, it's swept right under you. It's in Renegades.
Dude,
They're,
that momentum
they're
was
soaring.
gone like 5-6 rounds ago.
honestly, at this point now, NRG looking like they're going to go on to a little bit of a force buy here. I can see them picking up AKs, but I imagine they want to get that op into Cirque's hands, allow him to really open up the map, allow him to float around and get some stuff going. And it does look like that's what they're going to do. They're going to just pick up some pistols here, Dallas, and try and get some kills going for them. But they are going to look towards the next round to make something happen.
I mean, looking at this map pick, this was the Renegades' choice.
Yeah.
And NRG chose to start on the CT side, as you would expect. But, wow. Think how strong the Renegades would be if they had a little bit of success on their T side. This map would have been over by now.
Yeah, definitely. Breeze actually ends up picking up an AK in this situation here, so a little bit more cash that he had in his pocket. He's going to invest a little bit more into this round here, but Renegades poised to take the lead for the very first time since that initial 3 rounds that they had won.
Yeah. At that point, it was round 4.
It's been a long road for them since
Oh,
they've seen
Jacob.
Look at this one way.
He's got clouded vision, and
Ooh.
Cirque walks right into that one. It was just a continued burst to finish Tarek off first, and then he stepped into it. Now they jump out. There's going to be a present from JKS at Sandwich. Breeze is last man standing with that AK that was purchased here, but more or less the same minimal success from NRG. Whether they had rifles or pistols, Renegade's CT side has prevailed.
Breeze is on 25 frags right now, absolutely going off. Unfortunately, it's not enough to keep NRG in this game. Renegades have pulled back, they've taken the lead here, Dallas, and their CT side is so solid.
Dude, it's almost like Renegades, knowing how good they are on this map and how good their CT side is compared to their T side, it almost feels like, okay, let's give them a head start.
But even
how far of a head start?
Even in that situation where you're confident about your CT side, a 12-3 half is something you never want to give to another team.
No.
That is just a hill that you don't want to have to climb, but Renegades have done it here on our first map.
And they're going to start off with the first couple frags. Jacob just go stay up in connector. Smooya will pop off with the first two. Now Jacob's getting a little bit confident, thinking about pushing out into mid, but he will back up. Smooya's been finished off down there. Interesting position from him, but a 2-for-1 sale for the Renegades, they'll take that, sure. I mean, one of the you know, it's funny still. We talked about this, the Renegades' money is not all that pretty. It's still not all that pretty. For winning this entire half, not losing a single round, you would think that you're, I don't know, 10 grand? No.
All right, very large lull in the round here as NRG down to 3 men, not really having any openings going their way right now. We're going to opt to move back to the B bomb site to watch this develop. As we near the 45-second mark on the clock here, Dallas, Breeze is going to be taking the lead here. Does look like they're just going to go for a hard execute. No smokes coming over, just a pop flash and a burst out.
There's the flash. Liaz will catch all of that one. Breeze is the first player to jump out, and Liaz will take the second player too. That was the apartments first, and the next. We got a trade at the end, but it was water under the bridge.
It's kind of the story of this half here for NRG. A couple kills for them, but no real strength within the round.
It's all reactionary.
Here's this double spray down by
takes that
Liaz.
apartments player first. I almost feel like the design right there for NRG with Cirque and Breeze was to jump out first and then allow Cirque to swing into the window with the AWP and get an instant frag. A target that's being missed.
Yeah,
but
essentially they were both supposed to come out.
Right.
The Cirque would have picked up the market rotate, picked up a frag in there, but it doesn't go that way.
No, it does not. Renegade so far flawless CT side, continuing to do so. Smooya always starting the rounds with 2 kills. Can he get a couple more? He's still set up on catwalk right now. Breeze walks through the smoke and connector, and it just looks like a field day out here. The Renegades, it's just everything's on sale.
15 rounds on the board for them. They've done it within 1 round of making this comeback happen here. Dallas undefeated on their CT side. Renegades looking phenomenal in this first map.
That is 12 in a row on their CT side. It's unreal. It's ridiculous against a team like NRG. And I was thinking, okay, NRG are a very strong team from what we've seen in the past 2 days from them. And then the Renegades, it was a different story. We saw them on day 1. Very flat team. They had 2 stand-ins. They just couldn't get anything done. Day 2, completely different story. They started to come alive. And even now, day 3, now they're showing that they might be one of the best teams here.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. CT side Mirage, it is an easier side to play over the T side. But still, NRG finishing up their half 12-3 there on Renegades. They had them hard pressed. They had their backs to the wall. That was NRG's game to take. Now NRG from behind have to win 3 rounds in a row here. They haven't found success throughout this second half here. I don't know how NRG's going to do it. I'm excited to see how they take this round.
We were talking about Renegades' money. It was in trouble for all of these rounds, 13 in a row that they've managed to take, but you know, or 12 in a row that they managed to take. But now it's not an issue. They got tons of cash. Here comes NRG on entry. Jacob's able to get 1, just holding down mouse 1, and it's a 3-for-1 trade. That should be it. They need a miracle from Ethan and Daps to be able to spin this right around. They've lost their first, leaving Ethan all alone. 1v4. He's about to get shot in the back.
There you go.
Smooya.
That was a great little crossfire within the A site. You had Jacob within the sandwich box, then you had Liaz tucked inside the firebox. Jacob actually wide swings, peeks out, gets the first frag, tucks back in. Liaz swings out, picks up yet another frag, and at that point the rotations start coming in for Renegades, and they all but clean up that round.